back to Video Game Vibes.
Whoa.
It is me. Yeah. Hey, welcome back. It's your boy Super Potion, Grog Games, either or. I'm here with my boy Jax.
I
Jax,
call
say
him
hello.
SP, you know.
That's true. He does. He's
do.
the OG.
Whenever I
OG.
see a Super Potion in a Pokemon game, I think of you, dude. So you know, I hope you take
that was the
with you.
intention. That's
Yeah.
called branding.
It's working. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
So how's your week been, dude? What have you been watching? What have you been playing?
What have I been watching and or playing? Well, I have been playing... Actually, yesterday I played a Dragon Quest game for the first time.
I saw you bought that on the Steam sale, didn't you?
Yeah, what was it Echoes of the Sky or something like that? I think I have to check my Steam page.
I've not
check
played
it
a
later,
Dragon Quest
but...
game in my life. Is they good?
Never?
No.
Really?
And isn't there an
What?
anime? With Dragon Quest or something?
Yes.
as well?
I can't believe I get to gush about this. That's the point of the podcast, though, huh?
That's why we're here, mate. Just go for it.
I played one of the old Dragon Quest games, like for the Game Boy, Dragon Quest Monster Warrior, which is completely different because you actually get to, it's more like Pokemon based, and you get to tame the monsters and fight other monsters. This one is not like that, where it's more RPG and you have a party and you fight monsters, so it's the opposite. But yeah, I basically have been into Dragon Warrior for a little bit, Dragon Quest, the world of Dragon Quest, and yeah, there was an anime, which is the Adventures of Dai, I believe is what it's called, which is so criminally underrated. This is something that was a manga before, and they just made an anime, and I think it's at 70-something episodes. I think they just got to 80.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, it's like, it looks like Dragon Ball Z. It's like the same artist, so if you did not know, that's the same as Dragon Quest. It's the same artist who does it. And it's just so cool. It's just like this fantasy adventure, and the characters are well built and everything. And I'm like, I should play some Dragon Quest. I should really play some Dragon Quest. And I was waiting for it to go on sale, and the summer sale has just happened on Steam at the time of this recording. So finally put down that money and bought it. And yeah, I didn't get very far. I've only been an hour into it, but I'm pumped for it. I'm pumped for it. Haven't played an RPG for a long time, so.
Oh, nice. I'll keep on that anime feel, because I've sort of gone down an anime rabbit hole. So for a while I didn't watch too much of it, and I did a bunch of like Crunchyroll trials with all my different email addresses because I didn't want to pay for it or whatever. And then I found out about this particular website that allows you to watch any anime, and I was like, okay, sweet. So I've been binging everything. I watched Love is War. I'm really enjoying that.
Nope.
But Spy X Family, oh my god,
Spy X.
that is like my favorite thing ever right now. I can't get over how good that, like, it just makes me laugh. Like, it just makes me laugh, and I love it. Anya,
I think
is
I'm
just
one
the best.
episode behind on Spy X Family for some reason.
It actually made me watch the sub because the dub wasn't there, it wasn't available, because obviously the sub's first. And I actually watched the sub, and I really enjoyed it, and I was surprised because I like the dub for a lot of it, you know, even though you hear a lot of the same voice actors in a lot of the different anime. And also, like, it was a breakthrough, and then I was really gutted that it wasn't on Netflix, because I started watching Attack on Titan, and I was like,
ooh,
this is probably one of the only anime I could try and convince my wife to give it a go, because she's not interested in anime at all. And I was like, Attack on Titan, it's like the best show ever. That's what I always keep hearing. So I watched a couple of episodes, and I was like, we should watch this. And I remember it being on Netflix, and I was like, okay, right, let's watch it. We've got Sunday afternoon. Let's binge loads of it. It ain't on Netflix anymore, and
They took it off,
gutted.
really?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It's like, that show is huge, and it's not on Netflix anymore, so I can't watch it on the telly. So I'm not gonna whip out a laptop and get out Zorro.to, the anime website.
I was gonna ask what the website was.
It's Zorro.to. Check it out.
Okay, I don't even think I've heard of that one. I just use Crunchyroll because I watch anime like almost daily. So for me, it's.
But you have to pay though, don't you, for Crunchyroll?
It's like $7.
Oh, you have to pay. Yeah, no, see that's it. I too many subscriptions. I just can't. As much as I want to watch so much anime, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't pull the trigger on it. You know.
I get that.
But yeah, Spy X Family is just that's unreal.
Just real quick though, okay, because I had the same predicament with getting my wife to watch anime. Okay.
Help me
For
out.
a long time. A long time. I don't know if we've talked about this, but we're going to go over it again. You need to get her on the generic train first, and that's how she gets sucked in. Okay?
Generic? What? Okay, give me generic, because
Generic classics that are good. Okay.
you got to keep
Number
them out of
one.
like fan service and stuff like that, because that crap just annoys that stuff. A lot of that stuff annoys me, and it will piss her off. So that side of anime you need to stay away from.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's some of the weird stuff you keep away from. First one. Okay, it depends if you want to go. No, never mind. Just show her both. Death Note is the first one she has to watch.
Okay.
It's basically a drama.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone's seen it. Everyone loves it.
Still need to watch that.
It's just good. You haven't watched Jack?
Okay, yeah. I've been told numerous times in the Discord to watch it.
Okay.
And whilst going down this rabbit hole of watching a lot of crap anime, and I'll say that up front, I've watched a lot of rubbish. I'm watching like Twin Star Exorcists at the minute, which is actually not too bad, but it's still not great. And I watched season 1 of ReZero, and I couldn't bring myself to watch season 2. I've watched a bit of loads of stuff. I will watch Death Note. Everyone keeps telling me to. I will watch. Okay, I'll try and get her to watch. I think that's still on Netflix actually. So
yes, it is on Netflix. It is. And then Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No. See, all of the generic ones, everyone like people who aren't into anime who've watched those. There's like yeah. I've not watched that. See, same with Attack on Titan. I only just started watching it.
Attack on Titan is like Game of Thrones the anime.
Yeah.
That's how I describe it to people.
That's a good sell, to be fair.
It is a good sell. But Jax, I suppose we should transition away from anime talk.
Okay, yeah, no, all right.
The reason why we're here.
There is. We're talking about Sonic today, and we'll get onto Sonic Adventure 2, but we have to, as part of a little news recap, we're just going to talk about Sonic Frontiers for a minute, because that IGN gameplay trailer arguably was one of the worst things I've seen in my life, and it makes me so sad, given the potential of what this game could have been, or could be.
Okay. So let's back up for 2 seconds, Jax. So there is a new Sonic game coming out that is open world, right? That's what we're talking about?
It's Sonic Breath of the Wild, basically.
If Sonic married Breath of the Wild, yes. I think there's 2 trailers out, right? I've seen 2 trailers.
I think there is 2,
first trailer and then an enemy trailer or something.
There's like a longer gameplay trailer, and
I know watched that as well. Yeah.
Some people have had the chance to play it, and I've listened to some of their reviews on it.
I didn't know.
Yeah. So some people will manage to get hands-on with it at Summer Game Fest, I think. And obviously, you take everyone's different opinion with a pinch of salt, right? But the general consensus is that, well, the bits they said that were good, they weren't allowed to talk about. So that is what that. Yeah. So that is what it is. But they said generally didn't have a good time with it. The actual application of like, when they were actually there, the controller they were using wasn't configured to what they were shown on the screen in terms of the tutorial, so the buttons were different and stuff like that. So apparently it wasn't presented very well anyway. But from what we've seen and from what I've seen on it, it just looks bad. Like it should. I've seen so many like fan designs of like big, open wide, like landscapes with Sonic just going around, and it looks brilliant and stuff like this.
And being fast.
yeah. I think obviously there's going to be an element of platforming in these games and stuff, but it just feels like it's like, Sonic grinds onto a rail, onto a platform, and then he meets a boss and stuff like that. It just, I don't know. For me, I'm disappointed and I'm extremely worried. So I'm hoping, like with the Sonic films, when they said, no, this is not what Sonic should be, that they take a step back, they get some feedback, and they improve the game. But knowing the Sonic and Sega team's track record with Sonic games, I'm a bit concerned, to say the least. I
am also confused by it. It just, as someone said in one of the YouTube comments from the trailer, it just seemed like it didn't have a lot of heart in it. Essentially, for me, the trailer, the biggest takeaway was like how empty it was, the world, and obviously the game's not out yet, so we can't judge yet. But it just seemed like oh, here's Sonic. He's gonna run 10 feet and there's a puzzle. Oh, here's a grind rail. I'm gonna go over this little gulch and it looks pretty or whatever. But also over here, oh yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing over here. It's just, I don't know. It just seems so empty and like
Yeah.
there was no purpose at all to do it. And I was like, wait, why is there all these puzzles too? Like, Sonic's not necessarily a puzzle game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some kind of that stuff in Sonic games, right?
It's
But-
not really what you think of when you play Sonic game, and a lot of it,
No.
like they said, a lot of it's gonna be to do with like finding Sonic's gonna be trying to find the story. The story's not gonna just be there. And again, I feel like this is just showing shades of Sega doing the same thing, where they sometimes, with one of their games, they hit it pretty decently, and we'll come on to one of their better games, Sonic Adventure 2, one of my favourite Sonic games. They sort of hit a winning formula, in my opinion, with how that game was. And then what did they do? They made Sonic Heroes, which was, and then you play 3 characters all at the same time and you swap them out, and it got worse. And then they completely changed from that, and there was Sonic 06, which we will never talk about, and let's just pretend it didn't exist.
It didn't happen.
It's just I honestly wish that Sony, and I'm just saying Sony is an example of a good, like a good company with a lot of good developers, to just take Sega, take Sonic and make a freaking good 3D Sonic game. It can't be this difficult. Like, it just can't be. Remaster Sonic Adventure 2. Do something.
I don't know about a remaster, but yeah, I get your point, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like, did they just try new things because they're like, oh, Sonic can't be all the same. We gotta switch it up, guys. We gotta do something to switch it up, make it flashy and new and something better than it is. Like, I mean, there can be aspects of new things. That's fine, but when it ruins the whole core of what Sonic is, yeah, it's not better. It's not a better experience as a game.
It does kind of feel like they're trying to jump on the trend, and Breath of the Wild completely ripped apart what an open world game was, and it was completely different.
And they're years behind the trend, though. That's the worst part. When did Breath of the Wild come out? 4 or 5 years ago now? 6?
It's probably at least 5 years, I think. When the Switch came. Well, no, when the Switch came out, and it came out with the Wii U as well, like just prior to that. But it's concerning. But obviously, it's only a gameplay trailer at the minute. We don't know for sure if that's what it's going to look like at the end of it. We hope it's not. I don't know. I just you can only gauge so much from that gameplay trailer. I'm just, what I thought was going to happen is, because a lot of people were talking and said that an open world Sonic game could be something that's really good. It almost worries me that they sort of heard that, or that someone was like, oh yeah, like Breath of the Wild's really good, we could do that with Sonic. And then they thought about that, but they didn't really think about practically how to utilize Sonic, because, you know, it's all well and good for us to say that it looks stupid and stuff, but Sonic is such a unique character in that it's all about speed and fast platforming and stuff like that. So how do you translate fast gameplay and platforming into an open world sort of setting? Because most of the time in open world games, you're not going super fast, you're not going really fast, you're going at a steady speed, you're walking or you're running, but you're not going to the speed that you would when you're Sonic. Well, yeah,
because you brought up a great point. The reason why you're going slow in open world games is because you want to see the frickin' world. You want to see how beautiful it is. You want to explore every inch of it, and that's going to be harder to do when you're going as fast as possible. Like, it just,
that's a good
it doesn't
point,
make sense.
but I
like
still think it's possible. I think it's the concept. I think could work. It's just how it works is
so
the hard
difficult.
part, obviously.
Yeah.
It is actually, thinking about it, it's actually really not an easy task that they've set themselves. But hey, you know, well, I would say it can't be worse than some of the other games they've had, but I'm going to come onto my Sonic Colors rant in a little bit, so I'll just go into Sonic Colors now.
Yes,
then.
why not?
Yeah,
we're here.
Right, okay, so every Christmas I generally have a list of games, and my wife will get me like one or two of them. And last year I was like, well, I haven't got a Sonic game for the Switch. Actually, that's a lie. I have Sonic Mania, and that's really good. But I wanted another one, so I looked what was there, and Sonic Colors, I don't think it come out that long ago. And I remember watching a review for it and thinking, oh, this looks decent, or at least it seems like it on the surface. I have no idea why, because, you know, okay, we're talking about Sonic Frontiers looking complete trash.
Yeah.
Sonic Colors, I can calmly say, you know, having played it for a few hours, is one of the worst games I have played in my entire life.
Ouch.
I think you were at one of the live streams when you were like,
I was
this
there
is
for
like
a
a
little
mini
bit.
game thing. Like it was like a mini game level. I didn't know what was going on.
I don't have the expertise to say that this game is trash, but when I was watching Jax when he was live streaming it, I think I compared it to a phone game. I was like, this should be on Android.
Like,
it looks like you could run this on your phone.
Like Sonic Dash on the phone is probably much better than this game. Like honestly, I don't know what it is. I don't know what they were trying to do with it. So it's 3D and it's side scrolling, but the play is so slow. There's barely any speed to it. It's all generally, a lot of it is puzzle related, and it's just, this is just not fun. I'm just not having a good time. Like a lot of people complain because it's like a remaster, I think, of Sonic Color. I think so, yeah. But people were complaining about bugs and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, the music's okay, which it tends to be in most Sonic games. The music's decent, but the gameplay is just horrible. And like, there's no Sonic going fast. There's no gotta go fast in any aspect of the game.
What do you mean?
Well, okay.
Sonic goes fast. That's what he does.
Or even in the couple of moments where you do go fast, it's very short lived and it's very easy to die and stuff like that. And I'm not. I promise you guys, I'm not coming through this as someone who just hasn't got a grip on the game and is not good enough at it. The game is crap, and I will happily say that. Please, if you're in the comments or hit me up on Twitter or something with the contrasting arguments to why Sonic Colors is decent, like, or just watch that freaking live stream I did. Oh, it was terrible. Okay, right, rant over. Let's talk about what I believe to be a great Sonic game.
The best, guys. I assure you. First off, Jax loves Sonic. Just putting it out there. He sounds negative now, but that's just because he's so passionate about that blue little hedgehog.
Okay, let me offer some perspective. Okay, I am someone, and I mentioned this to you before. I'm from the UK, and predominantly, a lot of people in the UK struggled in like the 90s to get like Nintendo Entertainment Systems, SNESes and NESes and stuff like that. A lot of people had Mega Drives, or what you call the Sega Genesis. So a lot of people that I know grew up playing Sonic on the Mega Drive and stuff like that. So I had the original Sonic the Hedgehog, I had Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which for me is the best Sonic game of all time, and I'm so looking forward to playing it on the remaster on Sonic Origins, which is just dropped, or is about to drop at the time of recording. But yeah, I love Sonic, and I've always had a special place in my heart for Sonic and not Mario, but that's because I grew up with Sonic and not with Mario, even though Mario's transition to 3D games was 100 times better, and the majority of people now favour Mario to Sonic.
Did you know I've never played Mario 64?
Me neither.
No! Oh no, we're terrible.
I played like actually, that's not true. I do have it on the Switch, on the emulator thing. They've got it. Oh. I've played it a bit. Yeah, I've played it a bit. But like, I'm not going to be someone who's going to like die for not having like a good opinion about it. Don't get me wrong. That game done 3D games right, and just like Zelda Ocarina of Time done 3D games at the time so right. But I don't have that nostalgic feeling about Mario 64 like a lot of people do, and that's completely fair enough because I didn't grow up playing it.
Yeah, if you don't have the
Although I
nostalgia
did have an
for
N64,
it,
so.
yeah, I never had a 64.
Oh man!
I mean, I've
Some
touched
good
it. I've
times.
touched it before. Like, I think I vaguely remember, like, when I was a kid, we went to this special, like, hair cutting place, and they had a Nintendo 64
Oh,
there.
nice.
So I think that was, like, one of the few times I played
Nice.
it. And I was like, yes, I'm gonna get my hair cut this time, so then I can play Mario.
Lucky you, my barbers, they just had a giant, like, Alsatian that sat next to you while you were getting your hair cut. That's why I hated going to the freaking hairdresser. Like, the barbers, I just couldn't do it. I didn't like the big, scary dog.
That's hilarious.
Oh.
Anyway, we put it off long enough, Jax. Let's talk about one of our favorite games, Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
This game came out in 2001, for those of you not aware. It came out for, was it the Sega Genesis, you said? GameCube?
It was the Dreamcast originally.
Dreamcast, yep, okay.
And the GameCube.
And, GameCube. I had it for the GameCube. This was one of my favorite games on the GameCube. Like, no joke.
Easy.
I bought this game, and then I played it so much that it got scratched just from, like, wear and tear. And then I went out and bought another game, another copy of the game, because I needed it. I needed it so bad. And at that point, it had been, like, I don't know, like 5 years later. I'm like, no, I need to replay the game still. It's a phenomenal game. My favorite Sonic game. And I guess this will be interesting because I know why I love the game, Jax, and I'm pretty sure I've told you why I love the game, but I don't know necessarily all the details about why you love the game. So why don't you go first?
I think it's probably fair to say that we should put a nostalgia warning on this episode because both of us, like you say, you bought it in 2000, you bought it when it first came out. I got it for Christmas when it first came out with the GameCube, and the GameCube itself was my favorite console for such a long time. The Switch is completely awesome right now, and you know I've enjoyed like the PS2 and the PS3 and all like so many consoles. The GameCube was so special to me. And I think part of it was because a lot of people crapped on it because it was during the era of the PS2 and the Xbox 360 and that. But the GameCube had so many good games on it. And Sonic Adventure 2 was one of them. And there's so many reasons I could get into for it. And I'm trying to not take off my nostalgia glasses and just talk about the game itself. This is the first 3D Sonic game that I played. So you've got to keep in mind, obviously, the original Sonic Adventure came out on the Dreamcast. I never played that. I never got a Dreamcast. They looked kind of lame, and there wasn't really enough games to warrant it. So I never played the original Sonic Adventure. I've got Sonic Adventure in Steam, and I've been meaning to play it, so I should get around to playing it because it obviously precedes Sonic Adventure 2. Not that you notice with the storyline, but Sonic Adventure 2 takes you in, and it is the story. And so, like, obviously, a lot of Sonic games, the story is probably the least sort of good aspect of the game, at least in my opinion. And if you go back to classic Sonic games, they do have a story to them. You look at Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the story is there with like the cutscenes. There's no voice acting or whatever, but you know what's going on, which is what's so good about them. But this game took me in, and it's all because of the introduction of Shadow. Shadow's obviously he became a fan favourite for Sonic fans, but his introduction was just so cool.
Sonic?
It was literally like an edgy red Sonic, and from that moment I was just hooked. And I thought that, not talking about the sort of the gameplay or anything, but the way the story really carried the game. Don't get me wrong, there's some the I'll come on to this later, but the voices and how they handled the voice acting and the audio in this game is so bad that it's funny, obviously, and now we can look back on it, it's freaking hilarious. The story itself, though, Shadow's connection, like love connection with this Maria girl, how Rouge and Knuckles have like that's as far as that's how I took it anyway. You had so many different aspects of the story because there's a fair number of characters, and to keep them all in their own little sub story. I thought it was really well done.
Integral to the
So you got,
storyline, yeah.
obviously, all of the characters who sort of play similar when you look at Sonic and Shadow, Tails and Robotnik, and Rouge and Knuckles. Rouge and Knuckles had their like flirty banter, which I thought was really cute and stuff. And you had sort of Amy, who was sort of not a character and pushed to the side, essentially, who came in every now and again.
You don't like Amy Rose? What? She's so important. You can be her in battle, you know.
I mean, so
in the verses,
so important. Yeah. But I loved that the main villain of the game actually wasn't Robotnik in the end, and it was his granddad, Gerald Robotnik. I like that because it brought both of them together, and it did it because you played a hero side and you played a dark side, and then this other section opened up because the story wasn't really over, and that just, at the time, that just kind of blew my mind. That last section of the story was just one of the coolest things ever, because you
had everything together.
Shadow and Sonic, who were super. It was just, I loved it.
So Jax just went on a great spiel, guys. Let's
I went on a serious
2 seconds.
Well, a story tangent, if nothing else.
let's do a little bit of structure for the people that don't know this game per se. And if
guys,
you're listening to this and you
don't
know, oh boy,
play the game. It's like £3 on Steam. Go get it.
Yeah. So how the game works. You enter the game, and if you click the story mode, there's story mode and stage select, so if you want to replay stages, you can, and we'll get to why you would want to do that in the first place. But if you go to the story mode, it gives you 2 options. On the left side, it says hero. On the right side, it says dark. And then you get to pick either the good guys or the bad guys. And everyone, the great thing, what Jax said, is that everyone has a foil to their other side. So they have a reflection of their character. So of course it's Sonic and Shadow, and then Knuckles and Rouge, and Eggman and Tails. And the cool thing, and looking back at it as an adult, which of course you don't notice as a kid, is that you're sort of understanding everyone's story aspects from like their side of things. So like, for example, if you're doing the dark storyline, you're just playing as the dark characters. So they don't know anything that Sonic is doing or anything like that. And like, there'll be parts where they meet up though. Because like, for example, I just played Green Forest with Sonic, and that's like the first time he beats Shadow. Yeah, so there's boss battles where they intertwine, and the storyline just crosses paths. And it doesn't really matter who wins or loses. Of course, you're going to win. While you're playing one side of the storyline, you don't necessarily know what the characters on the other side are doing. But they meet together in boss battles, so you're aware that they exist, and this other side is challenging you while you're trying to do your own goals. And it just sort of bridges together beautifully at the end. And I don't know, do we want to go into spoilers for storyline and stuff, Jax? I mean, it is an old
game only came out in 2001, but okay.
Yeah, it's past the time limit, isn't it?
I always say there's like maybe 5 years before you shouldn't really care that much, despite the fact that there's like game saturation at this point. There's so many games that you can't honestly play all of them. So if you haven't played the game, you've probably seen a meme about it that spoiled it anyway. So
yeah, that's true.
There's your warning. Go and play the game.
Yeah, and I mean, we won't touch on everything, but essentially what happens is Eggman has this, it's basically a Death Star, pretty much, laser cannon. I made the joke about that when I was editing my Chow series and going through the storyline again. And he essentially is using this weapon that his grandfather created to threaten the planet, and Sonic's trying to stop him, and meanwhile Shadow's going along with him for his own reasons. And then at the end, I believe what happens, and it's been a while since I've done the end storyline stuff, Jax, but the colony is going to blow up. Is that correct? And then everything is gonna get ruined. So Eggman's like, I gotta save everything now.
So
is that it?
Yeah, to an extent. So the space colony arc, which was the Death Star that you mentioned,
the Death Star, yeah.
That was Gerald Robotnik's, where he was doing secret research. He made weapons, as they said it in the game. weapons of mass destruction. One of them was the eclipse cannon that we see that blows up like half the moon, which is hilarious. But
funny.
the other thing that was being researched up there was the ultimate life form. Now, everyone assumed that the ultimate life form they were talking about was Shadow the Hedgehog. But the ultimate life form was actually that lizard creature.
It's a dinosaur, Jax. It's literally a dinosaur with like warts or growths on it, which is the weirdest thing.
That attaches itself to the Space Colony arc at the end of the game, and then Sonic and Shadow have to go super in it and save the world as they normally do.
Yeah, of course.
And then they do Shadow over because he sort of sacrificed himself in a way. In the subsequent game, Sonic Heroes, that I have not played, and I'm glad I haven't because I heard it was crap, probably a bit strong, but he lost all his memories, which really annoys me because he had such character growth through Sonic Adventure 2, and he got to a point where he had moral, like, mutual respect between him and Sonic after calling him like a faker. Or well, Sonic said that, but you know, he didn't see Sonic as an equal and stuff, and he matured, and you know, he then eventually wanted to save everyone, and just to see that all sort of go away in Sonic Heroes, at least only from the stuff that I've seen, to be fair. So I don't know the full story of that. But I think to take his memories away is kind of lame. I think it's lame because it ruined his character development.
Yeah, they just tore down everything they built up.
Like, yeah, they done him like in this game. It was perfectly set up for him. And then, you know, I've also not played the Shadow the Hedgehog game for various reasons.
I have.
You actually played that because they built on the original story of Shadow.
Bit.
Yeah, they sort of built it up a little. I kind of like. I'm in my Sonic Adventure 2 bubble where that's how it went for me. I don't want to see him holding a gun.
I'm not gonna speak about Shadow the Hedgehog a ton, but because I can't remember the story for it. I know there's an alien or something that has nothing to do with his original storyline, but no, it's a fun ride. Every time Shadow dies, he like curses too. He's like, "Damn!" Every time he falls. It's so freaking funny. That's another example of you what you were saying before about how the Sega team just tries their own stuff just out of left field. Oh, let's make, you know how Shadow's edgy and everyone loves it?
Yeah.
Let's do that again, but like way up here.
Do you know the irony of that? And I'll just bring this up because this is a point I've always said. When Super Mario Maker was at its peak, or Super Mario Maker 2, which is even like greater, why have they not done a Sonic Maker game? Like, that screams success, where people just make their own Sonic games within the confines of a game itself. Like, that's and Sonic and Super Mario Maker is one of the most popular Mario games, and it's being played tons. And why do and it's so easy to do it. So many people make Sonic fan games. Give them a platform,
so upset.
and you can make so much money from it. It's crazy. I'm not the first person that said this nonsense.
No, you were 100% correct. I had never thought of that.
Wouldn't that go down so well? On the Switch and stuff,
it would do so good.
It would do so well because so many people make Sonic fan games anyway. Because Sega just cranks out this crap every. You know, there's a few gems every so often, but most of the time it's pretty bad. You know. But again, another mini rant, guys. You see, I'm so passionate about Sonic. I haven't even gone into the Sonic films, which I really enjoyed. By the way,
yeah.
I won't get.
I was
going to say we've not got a lot of time, so I won't get into it. Let me know if you do, and I'll maybe I'll just talk about it on a separate thing. Anyway, let's get into the gameplay. Because obviously, like most things, it's a large part of why I enjoyed the game so much. Sonic's transition to 3D games, with each iteration, the gameplay has been very different. Obviously, Sonic Adventure 2 built on what Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast originally had, but made it really good. Like the Sonic and Shadow levels, they're fast-paced. They've balanced it really well with the platforming in the levels. The levels are quite diverse, which is like classic Sonic, where it will have, you're in space at one point. There's, the jungle level, city escape. It's a broad range of diverse levels, and they're all really good fun. Like, there's not too many the Sonic and Shadows levels that I can think of that I played that I didn't enjoy. Then you have
Crazy. What about Crazy Gadget?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good level. Like,
the sound is good in Crazy Gadget. The music is good in Crazy Gadget.
Like the gravity changes and stuff. I actually really enjoyed that aspect of it.
You enjoyed that?
Yeah.
That was the most difficult part of the game. That's arguably the hardest level in the game.
Yeah.
Crazy Gadget.
I mean, if we talk about difficulty, let's face it, the game's really not hard. The bosses are so easy. They could die in 2 seconds.
Every boss has like 3 hits and then they're dead, I think.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's how it is, except the last boss.
Yeah.
It might be 5 hits.
So Knuckles and Rouge have their treasure hunting. That's their levels. They treasure hunt. They try and find pieces of the Master Emerald. I actually found most of their levels, really enjoyable. I didn't find it repetitive either. Like, they spread the levels of each characters around enough throughout the story, so you're not necessarily playing 2 or 3 Sonic levels on the bounce, or 2 and 3 Tails levels on the bounce, which is really the balance of the game, I think, is what is so good. Actually, thinking about it, is that they've managed to spread everything out so that it flows really well. And like you say, the storylines they're woven and intricate. Really, they do a good job of creating that sort of that really good narrative.
You don't go from like Sonic to Sonic. Oh, here's another Sonic level. No, it's like it starts Sonic, go to Tails, then you're at Knuckles. And sometimes they mix it up a little bit, but essentially, you get it. So you're doing different characters at different times, which is a very nice way. And then one of the other.
I was just gonna say the least fun, and I like to think I'm saying this for the majority. The least fun characters to play as are Tails and Robotnik in their like the robotic
mechs.
Yeah, if you like. Those levels, they aren't, and even me saying this, they're the least fun. They're not terrible, because I like the goal of trying to lock on to as many enemies as possible to get the highest score. Like, I actually really enjoyed that, and the floating stuff is okay. It's not terrible, but it's the least fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think just to take a step back, so Sonic and Shadow have fast levels. There's your fast-paced level, classic Sonic. Like you said, there's Tails and Robotnik. They are in mechs, so they're just really, really, I guess not really slow, but they are definitely not slow. Sonic fast. They are slow. No, they're the slowest one.
They're kind of like, it's not slow to the point where you're wanting them to hurry up. It's you kind of you control sort of how fast the level will go, because generally you'll have to lock on to switches and things to open doors to progress. So the speed of the level is based on you, but the levels aren't about speed. It's all about fighting the enemies, which isn't necessarily the case with the other characters.
Yeah, it's sort of like when in a part in the storyline, if there needs to be sort of like a power push or something. Is that fair to say? It's like, oh yeah, Tails goes in with this mech and fires everything. Like, I think Tails' first level is Prison Lane, and he breaks into like a prison. I can't even remember why he was. Was he looking for Sonic or something?
I was going to say, yeah. So Robotnik's is he breaks into the place to break Shadow out, and with Tails is, I don't know if it's his first level, but he does go to break Shadow, break Sonic out of prison when he gets captured after the police were chasing Shadow, and apparently Shadow and Sonic look exactly the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose we should talk about that. Yeah, for some reason, all the humans think that Shadow and Sonic are the same.
I mean...
So the reason that they're after Sonic is because of Shadow being bad.
You couldn't possibly, imagine being a human being in that world and knowing that Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Knuckles exist, how they look. And then another hedgehog comes along, but you're like, this guy looks kind of different. He's probably Sonic, though. I mean... Oh, he's probably just Sonic.
Got a new haircut. He dyed his hair.
He's dyed his hair. That's probably it. No. Oh dear.
No, it's crazy thinking there's like, yeah, there could be another hedgehog, blah, 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 blah. Oh my god. Yeah, the military's not super great. Yeah, so the military is everyone's enemy in the game, which is sort of hilarious. And we won't read too much
It's
into
kind of
that.
weird like that. Yeah, it's weird that the enemies or like the robots in. I never really thought about that, to be fair, but like the enemies or the robots in the game are the military and not Robotniks.
It's not Robotnik.
No,
No,
so
it's just
that kind
it's
of
the
adds
president of the U.S.
it kind of adds to that layer of Dr. Eggman, who sort of feigns being the enemy throughout. Like he is doing nefarious stuff, but he's not actually the real baddie of the game. And I think that was such a good twist because Sonic fans who play Sonic games know that he's the bad guy. And even though he was on the dark story, same as the other two, he wasn't actually like the main villain of the game. It was his granddad who, because Maria died, he wanted to blow up the planet, whatever.
Sort of ridiculous, but
I'll say, whilst we're talking about gameplay, do you want to talk about the chows now or at the end?
Yeah, we should talk about them now. We're just gonna talk about them now because
yay.
All right, so for those of you who are not aware of how this game works, like we said, levels with different characters, blah blah blah. In each level, there are 3 different containers which are called chow boxes. And the first one that you open, you get a key to the chow garden. And the first time I got this, I was like, oh, well, special box, cool, love the special box, wonder what that does. At the end of the level, it automatically throws you into the chow garden. And at first, it may seem like, oh, this is just a small mini game, because in the level, per other Sonic games, you can rescue animals, and whenever you destroy
it's
the
a
military
lifelong commitment. It is not a mini game. I'm sorry.
He couldn't hold his breath any longer.
It could take an entire lifetime.
Mini game at first. At first, okay, from the person looking from the outside, they're like, oh, it's like they're pets. They're pets. Chows are just pets. No, chows are life. Chows are life, and I will die on that hill. You get animals and chaos drives, which are supposedly parts of the Chaos Emerald. Don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, from the robots. We're not gonna get into that because how can you divide the Chaos Emeralds like that? Anyway,
makes a
you
good
get
point.
You get these animals and these chaos drives from the levels, from beating enemies or from finding animals, and you can give them to your chow. And what are chow? Jax, chow are. I don't want to say monster-esque, but that's the first thing that how do you even describe it? It's sort of like a blob that's very cute, and short, like a small little, imagine like a Sonic monster child, but cute, is I guess the dumbest way that I could describe it, but sort of accurate at the same time.
So a small community of chow was known to live around the altar of the Master Emerald, and eventually contact with the Master Emerald caused one of the chow to turn into Chaos, which was the villain from the first Sonic adventure.
That makes so much sense.
So
okay.
They were just a set of creatures that lived around it.
Yeah, so they're not even like guardians, because that's Knuckles' job.
Yeah, they're not like the echidnas. They're essentially, they were made to be like the flickies in the classic Sonic games. They were like, when you save the animals at the end of a classic Sonic game, you pop the thing open and all those birds jump out. Those are flickies. And Sonic Colors had like wisps, I think. So the Sonic games have always had like a cute little creature that would either like help you out or tell you stuff or whatever. And in the Sonic Adventure games, they have chows. Only in Sonic Adventure 2, it's like a super awesome side adventure that you can do with these chows. Like it's like a whole simulation game where you train them up, you take them to karate, and you battle them against other chows. You
race them.
You can you can put helmets on their head and do all this stuff, and then once they get to a certain age, based on if you're taking care of them as a good character on the hero side or a dark character on the dark side, you will unlock the Hero and Dark Gardens. So obviously the Dark Gardens is where all the adult Dark Chows can go, and vice versa with the Hero Garden. And I just, that whole experience, I don't know why I spent so much time in it. It was just a lot of fun, and it kind of blew my mind a little. Like, I never expected to unlock extra gardens and stuff like that. And I would spend, I must have lost countless hours of my childhood in the Chow Garden.
I definitely did.
Like, I want to do it again. And I know you've started a Chow Garden series,
yeah,
but like,
I've started it. There's still a fan base for this on YouTube. Did you know that? Because
there's a cult following, man, and I'm not surprised. It's so good. But the thing is, it's so time intensive. Like, I don't like. I'm about to be a father. I've got to worry about raising them and not a Chow, you know.
However, and hold on, there is points that I want to talk about in a second. But just before I talk about that, you can mod the game now if you have it for PC.
Yeah,
and you can mod the game so you can get animals count double. So you
can speed it up. Okay.
You speed up the whole entire process. Yeah. Also, you know there's a duplication glitch in the base game, right? If you stand a certain pace away from your Chow while you're giving it an animal, and just
I remember this.
Yeah, you just hop it at them, just like boop. There's a possibility that it hits them and then doesn't get you can reuse the animal essentially.
Memory unlocked. I literally that literally just got me in a moment. I remember doing it with I think like a gorilla animal or something.
Yeah. Damn. So guys, just to clarify, so you raise your Chow and they do a great job of tying it into the actual game, which is why we're not saying it's not a mini game because you're sort of like you would assume like with a mini game you don't have to play it. You could do everything
and
else
it doesn't
and play
last
the main
that
game
long.
without touching it, and it doesn't last that long. Chow are tied into the main storyline in two ways, Jax. Correct me if there's a third way. First way, of course, is the collectibles you get from levels. All right. While you're going through the levels as, you know, your favorite boy Sonic, you grab these animals as you go along, and there's also rare animals.
Yeah, the rare ones, I remember.
You can only find in the third Chow box, and occasionally there's a rare one at a very weird spot in the level.
Yeah.
For example,
just like a unicorn, I remember being one of them.
Yes, unicorns, dragons, half fish for the Pumpkin Hill, and phoenixes. Those are the 4, I think, mystic levels of pets, or not pets, but animals you can get.
The stat matrices that I see on websites for Chows is literally insane. People have broken down exactly how to get your Chow to look and act a certain way and stuff, because if you're giving them animals, they generally change design based on the animals that you give them until they become an adult.
And there's like 180 versions of Chow, I believe. God. I'll have to look it up. It's something like that. But, and we'll get into the stat part in a second here, but you can get these animals and give them to Chow, right? So the animals that you're giving the Chow are based in the levels, right? So it's not like you can ignore them, but it's really, really hard to, especially when you kill an enemy and then a Chaos Driver pops out, right?
It would take far too long.
Far too long.
If you were just going to... Because you give them food, and that only increases their stamina, generally. And you can buy stuff from a shop. There's that whole Chow kindergarten area that's on the opposite side of the main lobby sort of thing, where you can buy like special fruit and different like stuff to put on their heads. You take them to school and they learn a skill, I think.
They can learn like drumming and like trumpet.
That's
like,
right. They learn skills.
And drawing.
That's right. Yeah, and that's funny because you give them like a drum and they just whip it out and start playing it randomly. It's like a whole think of The Sims for like little. Think about it. It's essentially Animal Crossing as a side story. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, as a side story, and it's so detailed. And like, okay, apart from stat-wise, I want to talk about stats in a second because they need to know how detailed it is. But the other thing I was going to say, the second point of why it's so integral to the game and it's something you can't avoid is when you beat a level in Sonic, you get an emblem, right? And so, like, the first thing you think is like, oh yeah, what is this emblem for? Like, is it just like, oh yeah, I beat the level, blah, blah, blah. And you go into stage select, and when you replay a level, you see that there's 5 spots So there's 5 different ways to repeat a level, essentially, to get another emblem for it. So there's the regular clear that you get right away in the story mode. There is 100 rings. There is the missing Chow for the 3rd. 4th is time attack, and then 5th is a harder version of the level. And you essentially can get an emblem from every single one of these for each level for each character. So there are 180 emblems in total. And the way this ties back to Chow is that when you go to the black market, which is what Jax was talking about a second ago, in the kindergarten area, the shopkeeper has better items for your Chow if you have more emblems. And that includes Chow eggs to get different colored Chow which have better stats.
I never knew that.
You didn't know
I
that?
had no idea what the emblems were for. Like
What?
I was just saying, that just blew my mind.
Bro!
I had no idea.
Are you serious,
Yeah.
Jax? Oh my god.
I literally
No,
had
that's
no
how you
idea.
get shiny eggs and stuff.
Yeah, I remember like, I'm trying to think way back to when I was playing it back on the GameCube and stuff. I remember getting a gold egg. I remember my proudest moment was that I didn't realise, obviously no one had the stats and stuff up at that time or whatever, back in 2001. I got a Shadow Chow that had green like spikes at the back.
Yeah.
It was like a Shadow Chow. It was super fast and stuff like that. My proudest moment in that game was getting that Shadow. And I didn't. And what was great about it is I didn't realise. Obviously, you have to give them certain things, and obviously to get them to be a Shadow Chow or a Tails Chow or a Sonic Chow, and they end up obviously having those traits and those appearances. I didn't even realise that, and I managed to get a Shadow Chow. It was like so awesome. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, there are a couple aspects, and I'm not an expert. There's like this whole community behind it, but like there are Chows that look like characters, but some of them are specific to like events and stuff. Like the Tails Chow you're talking about, I don't even think you can get it in game.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah.
It was like a giveaway or something like that specifically for something with Japan, but
I think you're right. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so we'll talk about just this a little bit longer, guys. The Chow have 5 stats. All right, and this is where you're like, what? It can't be that complicated. Oh, it is. All right, so
Try
there
winning
is
a race. Oh my god.
like by winning. There's a swim stat, a flying stat, a power stat, a run stat, and then your stamina stat, right? For each individual Chow. And it's sort of like an RPG level system where it's like level 1, 2, etc., right? And you raise these by giving them animals or chaos tribes. Or fruit. They're a Chow fruit that you can give, which I think just raises everything. But each animal can raise it, but also some of them take away points from it too. I think there's a 10-notch bar on each level. So for example, penguins, I believe, give swimming, flying, but take away power.
God, how do you remember that, man? Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I just I played the game a little bit recently, but also yes, I know everything.
Oh yeah, you're doing your Chow series. Yeah.
Yeah, but so you have to balance what kind you want, and while the animals change physical appearances, they're also changing your Chow on the back end, because they're determining what kind of Chow your Chow will evolve into. Like Jack said, there's Hero and Dark, but it's way more complicated than that. Because when they evolve, sort of like Pokemon, but not the same thing. They still stay the same size and all that stuff, but they can change in either a swim Chow or a flying Chow.
Yeah.
Essentially, all the same stats that I said, and they will look different depending on that. So like the flying ones, I believe they have
wings and
longer hair. I think.
I thought they had wings. Some of them have wings and
they all have little wings.
Like tails and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, and like you said with your Shadow Chow, that was a run type Chow.
Yeah.
They have like the Sonic Shadow-esque little quill hair going and stuff like that. Essentially you can mix up all these combinations of like colors with the Chow and the evolution types to get so many different kinds. And on top of that, there is a hidden stat system for when your Chow spawns. So when your Chow spawns, they are assigned a rank of how good their stat will be, same as the level system, so it's E through A.
Bloody hell.
And so, yeah, so when you first hatch open your Chow, if you throw them against a rock and their egg breaks open, or if you just let them come on out, you bring him the doctor, and he's like, yo, your Chow's is good, and it's like, okay, I have an A in power for this Chow, but like one of mine, for example, that I have right now, he has an A in run, which is dope, because when they evolve also, they get a stat increase if you evolve to that certain type. So if I make him a run type and I evolve him, his A will go to an S rank.
Okay.
And that's the highest rank you can get. And but he has an E in stamina, so his stamina is the worst possible rank.
So he'll burn out so fast.
He'll burn out very fast in the Chow races. And then on top of that, there's a breeding system with your Chow.
Oh my god.
So you can breed them together to get more powerful Chow. So I could breed like my Chow that I was just saying that is an S rank run with something else that has like an S rank power.
I forgot about the breeding. Oh my god.
You forgot about the breeding?
I remember it happened. I forgot about it for so long. I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, no, because that's how you get good Chow, is you breed them together to get better stats.
See, the thing is, right, this whole... Okay, keep going.
No, you go ahead. I've been talking too long.
I was just going to say, this whole side Animal Crossing thing, it's almost like they done it in such a way, whereas if you were bored of the game itself, because by the time you completed the game, you'd still be playing the Chow Garden for so much longer than you would be playing the main story. It's a great use of replayability. Like, it gives you more reason to replay the levels to better your Chows, and that's a really clever way of clever use of like a side area to get you to replay the game. So I bet a lot of people played it for, like you say, you played it for a good few years after it came out. You didn't just drop it at a hat. And now not everyone's going to enjoy like the Chow side story or whatever, because people just won't. But a lot of people back then, myself included, enjoyed it so much, like just spent countless hours on it.
It just hooked you in. I just remember, like, I would go through a level, I'd come back and be like, did the shopkeeper change his shop items? I have no idea. And like, I'm like, dang, I got a dragon. I gotta give this to my sweet boy. I remember I had a Chow that I only gave him dragons. He wasn't allowed to have anything else. He was just a dragon Chow, and I thought it was the coolest thing.
Especially,
and
I was just gonna say, especially after like a really sort of, like, say you did a Sonic run, you did it's like high octane, like bit of the story, and you really enjoyed it and stuff, and then you get your Chow key and you come out of it. It's just a nice downtime, chilled. You could spend an hour there before you go back to the story as well, which is a really nice change of pace.
And also another thing. So if you're playing the storyline and you get the Chow key to go to the Chow Garden afterwards, like after you go in one garden and then do your stuff and then go to the exit, and it just auto puts you back in the storyline again.
That's what I like.
It's like really fast. Yeah. Like for stage select, you can go to the Chow Garden whenever you want as well. But you have to like exit it and actually go through like an exit door and stuff. In the storyline, it's like, okay, nope, you're back in the story now. There you go. Just like a small little brief, chill, good place to go in between all the hardships of the levels, which just is fantastic. I'm sorry. Did I go on too much of a tangent there, Jax?
I mean, it's.
I didn't even say everything that I wanted.
As much as it's an entire sort of side section of the game, it's an important part of talking about Sonic. So, this is going to be a longer episode than normal. And I say normal, we've only done one other one, so this is going to happen.
Your Chow can die too. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know your Chow can die?
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't think it ever happened where I played it long enough to do that. I don't think I ever got in that situation, luckily enough. That I can remember, to be fair.
It happened to my Chow, Kate.
You named it Kate.
She was a red Chow, and she died. And it was my only Chow that died, and that's why I was so upset. I didn't know what happened, because I thought something good was happening again. This was when I was a kid. I didn't understand the mechanics of it, right?
Yeah.
I walk in, and I'm like, yeah, excited to see all my Chow. I see Kate sit on the ground. All of a sudden, she goes in a red cocoon, and I'm like, she's evolving again!
Oh,
yes!
no.
Yes, she's evolving! She goes in this cocoon, and I'm just waiting there patiently, so excited.
She come up with a little
and then the
gravestone.
cocoon dissolves again, and she's not inside.
Oh, man.
And I'm just like, where did she go? Where did my Chow go? She was like my second Chow that, like, I think the first one I ever bought from the shop. And I was looking for her, and the other thing is there's a Chow PC sort of like Pokemon, so you can like look at all your Chow and all your gardens and stuff. I went my PC, just rushed there and was like, where is she? Did she move to another garden or something? No, she was gone. Just gone.
Rip.
She was too old. She passed away.
Rip, dude. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry too.
Right. One aspect of the game that we have to talk about is the sound design, the audio, and specifically the voice acting. Not so much the actual voice acting, but how it's implemented. And I've never seen it with any other game that... I don't even know how to describe it. It's like one of the characters starts talking, and towards the end of it, the other character, it will cut to the other character, and they'll start interrupting them when they're trying to make their point. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, Sonic, like, I'm just trying to remember, like, I found you, faker. You're the faker. Like, it's literally like they will cut each other. Like, it's like the edit.
We're doing that right now.
The editing team was just like, right, we want to make sure that it sounds sort of real, you know, like when people are having a fight, they like to cut each other off when in conversation and stuff. So they just layered the voice acting when they're talking to each other over the top at the end of each sentence almost. It's literally like people don't get like 2 seconds to take in what the person said before they're disagreeing with them. It just
so this is a negative for you.
It's hilarious though. It's some of the funniest.
It's so funny.
Funniest editing of voice acting I've seen in a video game. Go and watch some of it. You will understand what I mean from like the first couple of interactions. They all speak over each other, and it just makes me laugh so much to listen to it. Because otherwise, the actual voice acting I think is okay. Like Shadow's voice is great. Like they all say what they want, and in the right sort of tone and stuff in it, and it keeps the story, it keeps you compelled to the story. But what takes me away from it is just everyone overlapping each other when they're in a conversation. It just that's fair. I found it so funny at the time. Still do now.
I just love the cutscenes. They're so good. Like I said, I'm doing my series, and I just do pans the stupidest parts of the cutscenes. It's so hilarious. Like when Eggman was blowing the moon up right away in the beginning, the little girl's face I thought was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
And at another point, it shows the president in his limo because the Tails is after the president, and the president just looks like the dumbest.
He's just sitting there like,
man. It's just like, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
It is good fun. Yeah.
But I think we should also talk about the good part. I find no negatives in the music of the game.
You can't
Jax.
fault, like, and this is something that I will say is that, like, Mario has sonic beat in so many areas, in terms of just the games in general, right? Sonic beats Mario in music. The music of the majority of Sonic games, very few of them are the music bad, and a lot of the time the music is so good. Live and Learn is iconic at like 20 years on from this game. It is such an iconic song, and me, like so many other people, want to see it in the third Sonic film. We want to hear Live and Learn so much. I can't wait.
That would be amazing.
That would be so good. Like, they've got to do it.
I'd cry. I'd cry in theaters. What if they recreated some of the Sonic game in the third Sonic movie while Live and Learn is playing?
Can I spoil something in a post?
I still haven't seen the second movie.
Oh, okay.
I've only seen the first movie.
Oh, you're killing me, dude.
I'm waiting.
It was
I'm
so
waiting.
good.
It's gonna be on Netflix.
It was such a good film. I'll just say it was just such a good film, and the post credit scene sets up the third film. in an interesting way, and it's funny that we're talking about this now in Sonic Adventure 2. But anyway, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, the music for the game is... There's very few levels where you don't enjoy just sitting there listening to the soundtracks.
I don't even think it gets repetitive, too. Like,
No.
they repeat constantly, but the thing is the levels normally don't take that long. So it's not like it's the same thing and you get sick of it. I guess the only thing that really repeats is if you're doing Knuckles or Rouge's levels and you're taking forever to find a piece of the Master Emerald, you will hear the song a lot. But for me specifically, I don't care, because Knuckles' songs I think are the best in the game. He's got like little rap songs, which are completely different compared to like the other music, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Knuckles is sort of a badass.
Oh, but Aquatic Mine, I remember playing that level for so long one time. I think
I just did that.
Yeah,
bruh.
That level
so
drove me up the wall. I remember for so long I couldn't work out what I was supposed to do. And I had to go so far down.
So I was trying to get the upgrade, and we didn't even talk about upgrades. All characters have upgrades in the game, but Knuckles is the only one that gets the aquatic necklace?
Yeah, some necklace that lets him breathe underwater.
He can breathe underwater while like no other character can, which is good, but like it's in this area.
Sonic could really do with that, to be fair.
yeah. I was trying to find it and I couldn't find it, and then like even after I found it, I still couldn't find like one piece of the emerald. It just wasn't there. I had no idea. I had to raise the water levels up and down, and I felt so stupid because I'm like, bro, I'm a pro at this game. Why is it taking so long? And it took me like 12 minutes to beat the level, and I just felt so stupid. It was embarrassing. But don't worry, I won't put that in my episodes. Alright, Jax, is it time for the vibe check?
I think we've sort of covered everything. If you haven't played the game before, go and play it. Because,
please,
in my opinion, it clearly passes the vibe check. However, the Sega team do not. And talking about future Sonic games and Sonic Frontiers, they need to sort themselves out and make sure that the game is just serviceable and good. And, you know, feel free to make Sonic Adventure 3, for God's sake, please do that. Please just write off, you know, Sonic Heroes and that, and make Sonic Adventure 3 and make it that's my, you know, hopeful dream that will never happen, but I'm saying it now. What do you think? Does it pass the vibe check?
Bad. I think it passes the vibe check in just simple way. 6 characters, 3 different level types, integrated minigame. I'm using quotes if you're not checking the video.
The giant
of the podcast
side
right
adventure where you
could giant side hustle
if you wanted to ignore the main game, you probably could.
You could.
It'd be very hard to level up, but
and there's mods for it too. You can get modded Chow. Anyway, yes, it absolutely passes the vibe. Although, like you said, another, just key point. We do understand this is a nostalgia blinder for what we're talking about here.
We've both got rose-tinted glasses here.
Yeah, rose-tinted glasses. If you're into that sort of thing, where you don't mind looking at older games, which have good parts in them, essentially. Yeah, this is a game for you, 100%. It does pass the vibe. And I don't see how it couldn't. I really don't. I don't know. It's just so good. It's the best Sonic game. Name another one that's better. You can't.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles is better. But it's the best 3D Sonic game by like a country mile. It is, and obviously we're people that grew up. I grew up with the classic Sonic games and grew up playing Sonic Adventure 2. So naturally, I'm gonna have that opinion if I enjoyed the game and whatever. We'll see what Sonic Frontiers is, but I'm actually really disappointed that we haven't seen a game like Adventure since sort of, I guess, Heroes. But even Heroes didn't play in the same way. So
no.
I'd love to see a Sonic Adventure 3, even if it's like substantially different, but with the same type of gameplay.
21 years since Sonic.
And it's
Adventure
still a good
2.
game to play, like playing it on Steam and stuff. It's still a good game to play, like even now.
Yeah.
So I guess we now, as we do in every episode, are talking about what happened in the latest Vibe Versus, which you will be able to see. You'll see the gameplay on our YouTube channel. But unfortunately, once again, I was defeated by SP, who, you know, let's say he prepared very well for... We played Sonic Adventure 2, we played City Escape, and it was best rank wins. And, which, you know, it's, you know, I'll admit, I came up with the idea, I thought it was a good idea. But when I was replaying the game, I made sure not to play City Escape because I didn't want to, like, I didn't think that was fair and that. Not that we made that rule, so I can't complain, I can't be salty. You know, I fell off and I died in one of the few gaps where you could actually die in the game. I managed to. I was homing for the spring and I cleared it and died instead, so that lost all my points.
Okay, which gap was it? You have to tell me in rich detail.
You know those, I don't know what you call them, platforms that are moving up and down, those grey things?
Yeah.
So the gap, you can fall down the gaps between them. And I was jumping over them and I was trying to home onto the spring at the end. But apparently I wasn't close enough to the spring because it didn't read that I was homing in on it. So it just cleared it and I didn't make the platform on the other side and I fell in between.
Was it so this is after you run down the side of the building?
Yeah,
and
this is quite far on
into
box. It. Yeah, into City Escape.
The third Chow box. I know exactly what you're talking about. The pit with the 3 robots and then the rising platforms. Yeah.
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But, you know, if I'd prepared to the same level as you, I might... Like, I started the game and I was like, oh, wait, what button is it to jump again? You know?
Oh, mate. Okay. Listen, I get it. You have every right to be salty, 100%. And you know what? In good faith, we're going to let you pick whatever you want for the next one. I'm going to let you pick again. It
was purely a suggestion.
I won't even touch it. No, I won't even touch it. You can pick a game I've never played.
Oh, dude.
And
You're clearly just the better gamer at this point, but...
That's absolutely not true.
Alright, well, no, we'll have a think and we'll decide collaboratively, but I'll throw a couple of ideas your way, and we'll make a decision together, because it's not fair otherwise. And, you know, I like to be fair and not play the game before we start, but, you know, whatever.
If anyone is wondering, I did get an A rank in 3 minutes and 4 seconds. So
Very nice, very nice. I won't talk about my E rank, because I fell off and died and lost all my points, but, you know. But no, it was good. And it just means that I'm the underdog, and I prefer being the underdog, and we got plenty of podcasts, plenty of time to come back, you know.
Listen, if it gets to the point where I'm up 5-0, then you can call yourself the underdog. This is the second episode, so I think
being
it's a
2-0
little
down,
early.
I'm already an underdog, you know. I'll play the Rocky Balboa. That's fine. You're Clubber Lang. You're the Russian. You know, that's fine. I will be, you know, the underdog that everyone loves. Fingers crossed, Team Jax. Come on, guys. I need your motivation for the next time.
Yeah, you really need to get.
But there we go, guys. Thank you so much for, if you're listening or if you watched on YouTube, don't forget to to 5-star rate us on whatever platform you listen it to. Leave us a good review. We really appreciate it. We're trying to make this one of the biggest, one of the best gaming podcasts. So help us out with that.
Yes, and we appreciate your support. But this has been Video Game Vibes. We'll talk next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, guys. Till next time. I'm going to beat you.